I was at the mall on a Saturday afternoon, weaving through crowds near the electronics section, when I nearly knocked a woman's coffee out of her hand. We both apologized at the same time, laughing at the awkwardness, and when I finally looked up at her face, something clicked. I knew her. Not personally, but I'd seen her before. In photos my wife posted from company events, always in the background of those forced group shots everyone takes at office parties. Rachel, that was her name. I remembered because my wife had mentioned her once or twice, usually in passing, never with much warmth. "You work with my wife, right?" I said, more statement than question. "At Schroeder Analytics?" Her expression shifted. Recognition, then something else. Surprise, maybe confusion. "Yeah, I do. You're her husband." She paused, glancing around like she was checking if anyone else was listening. "Wait, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be in Chicago with her?" I laughed. It was an automatic response, the kind you give when someone says something that doesn't make sense. "No, she's the one in Chicago. Some analytics conference. 3 days. Left Thursday morning." Rachel's face went completely blank. Not confused, blank. Like someone had just told her something that broke the logic of her entire day. Then she let out this short, dry laugh that didn't sound like humor at all. "Business conference," she repeated slowly, almost to herself. "Yeah," I said, suddenly aware that something was very wrong. "Some summit thing. Why?" She set her coffee down on a nearby table and crossed her arms. Her jaw tightened. "Look, I wasn't planning to get involved in this. But you seem like a decent guy, and honestly, you deserve to know the truth." My stomach dropped. "Know what?" "Your wife isn't in Chicago." Her voice was flat, matter of fact. "She's spending these 3 days at our boss's place." The words hit me like cold water. I just stood there, staring at her, trying to process what she'd just said. "What?" "His house." "His house," Rachel confirmed. "She's been there since Thursday. And before you ask, yes, it's exactly what it sounds like." I felt my hands tighten into fists at my sides, but I kept my voice level. "That's not possible. She showed me her flight confirmation, talked about the hotel, the whole thing." Rachel's expression softened slightly, but her tone stayed firm. "I'm sorry, but it's true. And it's not even the first time. She's done this before. Multiple times. Uses business trips as cover." "Why would you tell me this?" I asked, my voice harder than I intended. She didn't flinch. "Because I'm tired of watching her play games. At the office, she acts like she owns the place. She uses her situation with our boss to get better assignments, better hours, basically whatever she wants. And you know what else? She constantly tries to sabotage me." "Sabotage you?" "Yeah." Anger crept into Rachel's voice now. "She spreads rumors about my work, tries to make me look incompetent in front of him, undermines my projects, all because she sees me as competition. She acts like she's untouchable because of their little arrangement." I clenched my jaw. My mind was racing, replaying the last few months, the late nights, the sudden, urgent work trips, the way she'd been glued to her phone lately, smiling at messages she never showed me. It all started clicking into place like puzzle pieces I'd been ignoring. "I can show you proof if you want," Rachel offered. "Screenshots from work group chats. Times she said she was busy with a project, but was clearly somewhere else. I've got receipts." "Why now?" I asked. "Why tell me this today?" She met my gaze directly. "Because I'm done watching her get away with it. She treats people like garbage, manipulates everyone around her. And you're getting played the hardest. You don't deserve that." I ran a hand through my hair, feeling the anger building but keeping it controlled. This is a lot to take in. I know, Rachel said quietly. And look, I get that this is awkward, but you needed to know. She's not the person you think she is. I took a deep breath. Do you have time to grab dinner tonight? I need to hear everything you know. Rachel nodded. Yeah, I can do that. There's a place called Kemp's Grill on 5th Street. 7 work for you? I'll be there. She picked up her coffee. For what it's worth, I'm sorry you're finding out this way, but better from someone who's being honest than never finding out at all. Thanks, I said, though the word felt hollow. As she walked away, I stood there in the middle of the mall, the wireless earbuds I'd been planning to buy for my wife still in my hand. They suddenly felt meaningless. I put them back on the shelf and walked out of the store, my entire world shifting beneath my feet. My wife wasn't in Chicago. She was with her boss. And according to Rachel, this wasn't even new. I looked down at my empty hands. My mind was already working, already planning. I wasn't going to react emotionally. I wasn't going to fall apart. I was going to find out exactly what was going on, get my facts straight, and then decide what came next. But one thing was already clear. Whatever came next wasn't going to involve her walking all over me. I got to Kemp's Grill 10 minutes early. The place was casual, dim lighting, worn leather booths. I picked a table in the back corner where we could talk without being overheard. Rachel showed up right at 7, looking more relaxed than she had at the mall. She slid into the booth across from me. Thanks for meeting me, I said. Of course, she replied. I meant what I said earlier. You needed to know. The server came by and we ordered drinks and food. Once she left, Rachel pulled out her phone. Okay, so where do I start? How long has this been going on? I asked. She swiped through her phone. At least 6 months that I know of, maybe longer, but it got obvious around March. March. That was when my wife started taking more business trips. Rachel turned her phone toward me. Look at this group chat from work, 3 weeks ago. I read the messages. My wife had texted the team saying she'd be working late on a client proposal. Rachel had responded asking if she needed help. My wife declined, saying she had it covered. Now look at this, Rachel said, showing me another screenshot. It was from Instagram, posted that same night. My wife had tagged herself at an upscale restaurant downtown with the caption, "Needed this." She wasn't working late, Rachel said. She was out with him, and she doesn't even care who sees it. She thinks nobody will connect the dots. I felt my jaw tighten. What else? Rachel scrolled through more screenshots. Here's another one. She told HR she needed to leave early for a dentist appointment. Then she posted a story from a hotel bar at 3 in the afternoon. And nobody says anything? Who's going to? Rachel asked. He's the boss and she's sleeping with him. Anyone who complains would get blacklisted. She's made that clear. How has she made that clear? Rachel's expression hardened. 2 months ago, I submitted a proposal for a new client strategy. Spent weeks on it. The day before the presentation, she went to him and said I'd missed key data points, that my research was sloppy. It wasn't true, but he believed her. I got pulled from the project. That's messed up. That's just one example, Rachel continued. She's done it to other people too. Anyone she sees as a threat gets undermined. She spreads rumors, questions people's work ethic in meetings, makes snide comments. And he backs her up every time because she's got him convinced she's indispensable. I sat back in my seat, processing everything. She acts like this at work constantly, Rachel said. Walks around like she owns the place, acts smug, talks down to people. She even brags about it sometimes, like it's funny. Last week in the break room, someone asked her how she got approved for a raise when the company's been cutting budgets. You know what she said? What? She said, "You just have to know how to negotiate." Then she smirked. Everyone knew what she meant. The server brought our food, but I'd lost my appetite. Rachel took a bite of her burger, then continued. And the worst part, she acts like she's doing nothing wrong, like she deserves all the perks because she's putting in the work. Meanwhile, the rest of us actually have to earn our positions. Why didn't anyone go to HR? I asked. Rachel gave me a look. Because he's the one who would handle the complaint. You think HR is going to side with us over the guy who runs the department? Not a chance. She knows that. She's protected. I clenched my fists under the table. And she's been using these fake trips to cover for all of this? Yeah, Rachel confirmed. The Chicago trip. Total fiction. She's at his place right now, probably telling him how stupid everyone is for not figuring it out. I felt anger rising, but kept my voice steady. Do you know his address? Rachel hesitated. I know the general area. Why? Just curious. She studied me for a second. Look, I get that you're pissed, but don't do anything stupid. She's not worth it. I'm not going to do anything stupid, I said calmly. I just want to know what I'm dealing with. Rachel nodded slowly. Okay, fair enough. We ate in silence for a minute. Then Rachel spoke again. For what it's worth, I didn't want to tell you to hurt you. I told you because you seem like a decent person, and she's treating you like garbage. Nobody deserves that. I appreciate it, I said, even if it sucks to hear. I can be a witness if you need one, she offered. If you're thinking about divorce or anything legal, I've got all these screenshots saved. Dates, times, everything. I might take you up on that. She pushed her plate aside. Just be careful. She's going to deny everything. She's good at playing the victim when she needs to. Let her try, I said. I'm not going to give her the chance to spin this. Rachel smiled slightly. Good. You shouldn't. She's had this coming for a long time. We finished eating and I paid the check. As we walked out, Rachel stopped me. Hey, if you need anything else, just text me. I mean it. I'm done watching her get away with this. Thanks, I said. I'll let you know. She gave me a quick nod and headed to her car. I stood in the parking lot for a moment, letting everything sink in. My wife wasn't in Chicago. She was with her boss, likely laughing about how easy it was to fool everyone. She'd been manipulating me, manipulating her coworkers, playing games with people's careers. But she'd made one mistake. She'd underestimated Rachel. And now I knew the truth. I got in my car and pulled out my phone. I wasn't going to blow up her phone with angry texts. I wasn't going to call and scream. That's what she'd expect. That's what would let her play the victim. No, I was going to be smarter than that. I was going to gather evidence, get everything I needed, and then handle this on my terms. She wanted to play games? Fine. But she was about to find out she wasn't the only one who knew how to strategize. Sunday morning, I woke up with a clear head and a plan. My wife wasn't supposed to be back until Monday afternoon. That gave me almost 2 full days to work. I made coffee and sat down at the kitchen table with my laptop. First stop, our joint credit card account. I logged in and started scrolling through recent transactions. There it was, plain as day. Thursday evening, the night she supposedly flew to Chicago. There was a charge from a steakhouse downtown. Friday afternoon, a wine bar 6 blocks from our apartment. Saturday morning, a boutique coffee shop I'd never heard of. 0 charges from Chicago, not one. I took screenshots of everything, saving them to a secure folder on my computer. Then I checked our shared banking app. She'd been pulling cash too, probably trying to cover some tracks, but the ATM withdrawals showed locations, and every single one was local. Next, I opened the location sharing app we'd set up last year. She'd insisted on it for safety reasons, said it made her feel better when she traveled for work. The irony wasn't lost on me now. I pulled up her location history. Thursday through Saturday, her phone had been pinging from the same residential area across town. I copied the coordinates and plugged them into a map. Expensive neighborhood, nice houses, definitely not a hotel. I did a quick property search with the address. The house was owned by Richard Conway, her boss. I sat back and stared at the screen. There it was, undeniable proof. She hadn't even tried to hide it well. She'd gotten comfortable, sloppy, probably figured I'd never check, never question her. I took more screenshots, location history, property records, everything. Then I opened my email and started researching divorce attorneys. I wasn't going to wait. Wasn't going to have some big dramatic confrontation without a plan. I needed legal advice first. Needed to know my options. I found 3 highly rated family law attorneys in the area and sent consultation requests to all of them. 2 responded within an hour, offering appointments for early the following week. I scheduled both. My phone buzzed. A text from my wife. "Miss you. Conference is going great. Can't wait to tell you all about it when I get home." I stared at the message. She was still playing the game, still lying without a second thought. I typed back, "Glad you're having a good time. Safe travels tomorrow." Short, neutral, nothing that would tip her off. Let her think everything was fine. Another text came through. This one from Rachel. "How are you holding up? Let me know if you need anything." I appreciated her checking in. I replied, "Doing okay, gathering information. Thanks for everything." She sent back, "Good. Stay smart about this. She's going to flip when she realizes you know." I put my phone down and pulled up our lease agreement. The apartment was in my name only. I'd signed it 2 years ago before we got married. She'd moved in after, but her name was never added to the paperwork. That meant I had legal standing to ask her to leave. Good to know. I spent the rest of Sunday organizing everything into one folder. Credit card statements, location data, screenshots from Rachel, property records, the lease agreement. Every piece of evidence I had, all in one place. Monday morning, I took the day off work. Told my manager I had a personal matter to handle. He didn't ask questions. I drove across town to the neighborhood where her phone had been pinging. Found the address. Nice 2-story house, white exterior, well-maintained lawn. Her car was parked in the driveway. I didn't stop, didn't knock on the door or make a scene. I just confirmed what I already knew and drove away. Back home, I started making practical preparations. I changed the password on our streaming accounts, removed her access to my personal email, updated my banking app to require biometric login. I wasn't locking her out yet, just protecting what was mine. Around 2 in the afternoon, my phone rang. One of the divorce attorneys. "Hello, this is Attorney Bishop," the voice said. "I got your consultation request. Are you available to talk briefly?" "Yes, absolutely," I said. "Good. Based on what you described in your email, I'd like to meet with you tomorrow morning if possible. I think we can move quickly on this." Tomorrow works, I confirmed. Excellent. Come prepared with any documentation you have. Financial records, evidence of infidelity, anything relevant. I've got everything ready. Perfect. See you at 9. I hung up, feeling more in control than I had in days. This wasn't going to be messy. It was going to be efficient. Monday evening, my wife texted that her flight had landed and she was grabbing an Uber home. I texted back, "See you soon." I sat on the couch, folder of evidence next to me, and waited. 20 minutes later, I heard her key in the lock. The door opened and she walked in, rolling her suitcase behind her, big smile on her face. "Hey, I'm back," she said cheerfully. "Welcome home," I replied, keeping my tone even. She came over and kissed me on the cheek. I didn't pull away, didn't react. Not yet. "How was Chicago?" I asked. "Exhausting, but amazing," she said, dropping onto the couch beside me. The keynote speaker was incredible, and I made some great connections. Oh, and I got you something. She reached into her bag and pulled out a Chicago-themed magnet. Generic tourist shop stuff. "Thanks," I said, taking it. She launched into a detailed story about the conference, naming sessions she'd attended, people she'd met, and said the hotel she'd stayed at. Every word was a lie, delivered with confidence. I let her talk, let her dig the hole deeper. When she finally paused, I said, "Sounds like you had a productive trip." "I did," she said, smiling. "Really productive." I nodded slowly. "That's good." She stretched and yawned. "I'm going to take a shower, and then maybe we can order dinner." "Sure," I said. She disappeared down the hall. I heard the bathroom door close, heard the water start running. I picked up the folder next to me and opened it. Tomorrow morning, I'd meet with the attorney. Tomorrow afternoon, I'd sit her down and end this. But tonight, I'd let her enjoy her last night of thinking she'd gotten away with it. Because when the truth came out, there wouldn't be any coming back from it. Tuesday morning, I left for my attorney appointment while she was still asleep. Told her I had an early work meeting. Attorney Bishop's office was downtown. Professional, but not flashy. He was in his 50s, sharp suit, direct manner. "Let's see what you've got," he said after we shook hands. I handed him the folder. He spent 15 minutes going through everything. Credit card statements, location data, screenshots, property records. When he finished, he looked up at me. "This is solid," he said. "Very solid. She's going to have a hard time denying any of this." "What are my options?" I asked. "Well, you're not married long, correct?" 2 years. "And the apartment is in your name only?" "Yes." He nodded. "That simplifies things. You can ask her to leave immediately. Give her reasonable notice, say 48 hours. If she refuses, you can pursue formal eviction. But based on what I'm seeing here, I doubt it'll come to that." "What about the divorce itself?" "Straightforward," he said. "We file on grounds of adultery. With this evidence, she won't have much room to argue. We can probably have this wrapped up in a few months, assuming she doesn't fight it." "And if she does fight it?" "Then we present this in court, and she loses," he said flatly. "Judges don't look kindly on documented infidelity. You'll be fine." We discussed finances, assets, timeline. Everything was clearer after that conversation. "One piece of advice," Attorney Bishop said as I stood to leave. "When you confront her, keep it brief. Don't let her draw you into a long argument. State the facts, tell her what's happening, and end the conversation. Don't give her ammunition to twist things." Understood. I got back to the apartment around 11. She was in the kitchen making coffee, still in her pajamas. "Hey, how was your meeting?" she asked casually. "Productive," I said. She smiled. "Good. Want some coffee?" "No, thanks." I walked past her to the living room and sat on the couch. She followed, cup in hand, sitting in the chair across from me. "So, I was thinking," she started. "Maybe we could go out for dinner tonight. Celebrate me being back." I looked at her. "We need to talk." Her smile faded slightly. "Okay, what's up?" I pulled out my phone and opened the credit card statement. Chicago must have been nice. "It was," she said carefully. "Tell me more about it. Where did you stay?" "The Hilton downtown." "Why?" I turned my phone toward her. "That's interesting, because according to our credit card, you spent Thursday night at a steakhouse here in town. Friday, you were at a wine bar 6 blocks away. Saturday morning, you hit a coffee shop on the east side." Her face went pale. "Want to try again?" I asked. "Or should we talk about Richard Conway's house?" She set her coffee cup down with shaking hands. "What are you talking about?" "Cut the act," I said flatly. "I know you weren't in Chicago. I know you were at your boss's place. I know about the affair." "That's not true," she stammered. "Who told you that?" "Does it matter? I've got the evidence. Location data from your phone, credit card charges, property records. It's all right here." She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. "Okay, look, I can explain." "I don't want an explanation," I interrupted. "I'm not interested in hearing you try to justify this." "It wasn't like that," she insisted. "It just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far." "Stop talking." She froze. I leaned forward. "Here's what's going to happen. I met with a divorce attorney this morning. Papers will be filed by the end of the week. You have 48 hours to find somewhere else to stay. The apartment's in my name, so you're leaving." "You can't just kick me out," she said, voice rising. "Yes, I can. The lease is mine. You're not on it. Check with a lawyer if you want, but I already did." "This is insane," she said, standing up. "You're overreacting. We can work this out. Go to counseling or something." "I'm not going to counseling with someone who lied to my face for months," I said coldly. "We're done. That's not up for debate." She started crying. "Please, just listen to me. It was a mistake. I'll end it. I'll quit my job. Whatever you want. I don't want anything from you except for you to be gone by Thursday night." "Where am I supposed to go?" "That's not my problem. Stay with a friend, get a hotel, move in with Richard for all I care. Just be out." She wiped her eyes. "You're being cruel." "No," I said, standing up. "I'm being clear. You made your choices. These are the consequences." "What about our marriage?" she asked desperately. 2 years together, and you're just throwing it away?" I walked to the closet and grabbed a bag, tossing it to her. "You threw it away when you decided to spend 3 days with your boss. I'm just acknowledging what's already done." She tried a different approach. "People make mistakes. You're not perfect either." "You're right. I'm not perfect," I said. "But I didn't cheat. I didn't lie about where I was. I didn't manipulate my coworkers and sleep with my boss for favors." Her face flushed. "What are you talking about?" "I know about the rest of it too," I said. "How you use him to get better assignments. How you sabotage people who threaten you. How you walk around the office acting like you own the place." "Who told you that?" she demanded. "Doesn't matter. What matters is it's true. And I'm done being married to someone who operates like that." She sat back down, head in her hands. This isn't fair. 48 hours, I repeated. Pack your things and go. She looked up at me, mascara running. And if I don't? Then I'll start formal eviction proceedings. Your choice. But either way, you're leaving. She stared at me for a long moment, probably searching for some angle, some way to turn this around. She wasn't going to find one. Finally, she stood up and walked to the bedroom without another word. I heard drawers opening, hangers sliding across the closet rod. I sat back down on the couch and exhaled. It was done. The confrontation I'd been planning, the moment where everything came out, it was over in less than 10 minutes. No yelling, no drawn-out argument, no giving her the chance to twist the narrative. Just facts and consequences. An hour later, she came out with 2 suitcases. Her eyes were red, but she wasn't crying anymore. I'll be back for the rest of my stuff, she said quietly. Fine. Let me know when, and I'll make sure I'm here. She paused at the door. You're really not going to give me a chance to fix this? There's nothing to fix, I said. This is over. She left without another word. The door clicked shut behind her. I sat in the silence for a while. Then I texted Rachel. It's done. She's out. Rachel replied almost immediately. Good for you. How are you feeling? Honestly, relieved. That's the right reaction. You did the right thing. I looked around the apartment. It already felt different. Lighter somehow. She'd had her chance to be honest, to be faithful, to be a decent person. She'd chosen otherwise. Now she'd have to live with that choice. And I'd move forward without her. The next 2 days were a blur of ignored calls and blocked numbers. Wednesday morning, my phone started ringing at 7. Her number. I declined the call. She called again 5 minutes later. Declined. By noon, she'd called 12 times. I blocked her number. 10 minutes later, a text from an unknown number. Please, we need to talk. This is ridiculous. I blocked that one too. Thursday afternoon, her mother called. I almost didn't answer, but decided to get it over with. Hello? How dare you throw my daughter out of her home? She started immediately, voice sharp. The apartment isn't her home, I said calmly. It's mine. She's not on the lease. You can't just abandon your wife like this. I'm not abandoning her. I'm divorcing her for cheating. There's a difference. She made a mistake, her mother insisted. Everyone makes mistakes. You're being vindictive. She didn't make a mistake, I said. She had an affair for months, lied repeatedly, and manipulated people at her job. Those are choices, not mistakes. You don't understand the pressure she was under, her mother tried. I don't care about the pressure she was under, I interrupted. She's an adult. She made her decisions. Now she's dealing with the consequences. This conversation is over. I hung up and blocked her mother's number. Friday morning, Rachel texted, Heads up, your wife showed up at the office yesterday trying to figure out who told you. Security had to escort her out. I replied, Thanks for letting me know. Is she causing problems for you? She tried, but honestly, everyone's tired of her drama. HR's already aware of the situation with the boss. They're handling it. That was good to hear. At least there'd be consequences for both of them at work. Friday evening, I came home to find my ex sitting on the stairs outside the apartment building. She stood up when she saw me. We need to talk, she said. No, we don't, I replied, walking past her to the door. She followed. Just 5 minutes, please. You had months to talk to me honestly. You chose to lie instead. We're done talking. I know I messed up, she said, voice breaking. But I love you. I want to fix this. I stopped and turned to face her. You don't love me. If you did, you wouldn't have spent 3 days with your boss while telling me you were in Chicago. I do love you, she insisted. I just got confused. He was my boss. I felt pressured. I didn't know how to say no. I almost laughed. You felt pressured? Rachel told me you bragged about it at work. You used him to get raises and better assignments. Stop trying to play the victim. Her expression changed, anger flashing across her face. Rachel? Of course it was her. She's always been jealous of me. Jealous, I said flatly. You sabotaged her work and spread lies about her. She had every reason to tell me the truth. She's lying to you, my ex said desperately. She's trying to break us up because she wants you for herself. That's pathetic, I said. Even now you're trying to manipulate the situation. I'm not interested in Rachel. I'm just done with you. Where am I supposed to go? She asked, switching tactics again. I can't afford a place on my own right now. Stay with friends. Stay with your mother. I genuinely don't care. You're being cruel, she said, tears forming. No, I'm being honest. You want me to feel sorry for you, but I don't. You made this mess. You figure it out. She stepped closer. Please, just give me one more chance. I'll prove I can change. I moved back. I'm not giving you anything. The divorce papers are filed. My attorney will contact yours once you get one. Until then, stay away from me. What about my stuff? She asked. Text me when you want to pick it up. I'll be here, but that's it. No more conversations. She stared at me, clearly hoping I'd break, show some emotion she could latch on to. I didn't give her anything. Finally, she turned and walked away. I went inside, locked the door, and exhaled. My phone buzzed. Another unknown number. Text message. This isn't over. You're going to regret this. I took a screenshot and forwarded it to Attorney Bishop with a note. FYI, she's now sending threats from different numbers. He responded, document everything. If it continues, we can pursue a restraining order. I saved the message and blocked the number. Saturday morning, I changed the locks. Called a locksmith, had new deadbolts installed on both doors. Cost me $200, but it was worth the peace of mind. That afternoon, I got a call from an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Stop ignoring me, my ex said immediately. How many numbers do you have? I asked. As many as I need, she snapped. You can't just shut me out like this. Yes, I can. It's called blocking. Try respecting boundaries. I need to get my things from the apartment. Fine. Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Come get your stuff. I'll have everything packed and ready. I want to talk when I come over. No. You come in, you take your things, you leave. That's it. You're being unreasonable. Sunday, 2 o'clock. Show up or don't. I don't care. But if you're not there, I'm donating everything. I hung up before she could respond. The rest of Saturday, I packed up her belongings. Clothes, toiletries, random items she'd left around the apartment. Everything went into boxes. I stacked them by the door. Sunday at 2 o'clock, there was a knock. I opened the door to find her standing there with her mother. I brought backup, my ex said. That's fine, I replied. But you've got 30 minutes. Take your boxes and go. Her mother glared at me. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm not, I said simply. They started carrying boxes out. My ex tried several times to start a conversation, but I shut her down each time. "Where's my jewelry box?" she asked at one point. "Right there, second box from the left." "Did you go through it?" "No, I packed it exactly how I found it." She opened it, checked inside, then closed it again, clearly hoping I'd stolen something so she'd have ammunition against me. After 25 minutes, everything was loaded into her mother's car. My ex stood in the doorway one last time. "This is your last chance," she said. "If I walk out now, that's it." "Good," I said. "That's exactly what I want." She searched my face for any sign of hesitation. Found nothing. "You're going to regret this," she said quietly. "No, I'm not." She left. I closed the door and locked it with a new deadbolt. My phone buzzed. "Rachel." "How'd it go?" "She got her stuff. She's gone for good now." "How are you holding up?" "Better than I expected. Feel like I can finally breathe." "That's good. You deserve peace. Let me know if you need anything." I looked around the apartment. It was mine again. Completely mine. No more lies, no more manipulation, no more walking into a situation I didn't fully understand. Just clean space and a clear path forward. The divorce would take a few months to finalize. But the hard part was over. She was out of my life, and I had no intention of ever letting her back in. 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. She didn't show up to the final hearing. Attorney Bishop called with the news. "It's done. You're officially divorced." "Thanks for everything," I said. Rachel texted that week. "Heard the news. How are you feeling?" "Good. Finally finished." "Coffee this weekend?" "Sure." We met downtown. She looked relieved. "You look better," she said. "I feel better," I admitted. "Turns out removing toxic people improves your life." She laughed. Who knew? "What happened at work?" I asked. Rachel smiled. "HR investigated everything. Your ex and the boss got formal reprimands. She ended up quitting because nobody wanted to work with her anymore." "Seriously?" "Yeah. She tried playing victim, but too many people knew the truth." "Good." We talked for an hour about normal things. Work, hobbies, life. It felt refreshing. "I'm glad I ran into you at the mall," Rachel said as we left. "So am I," I replied. "Saved me from wasting more time." I drove home feeling lighter than I had in months. The apartment was mine. My life was mine. And I'd handled everything without losing my dignity. No second chances, no reconciliation, no looking back. Just a clean break and a fresh start. Exactly what I needed. Sometimes the hardest lessons teach you the most valuable truths. I learned that trust isn't just about believing someone. It's about noticing when the pieces don't fit. I learned that self-respect isn't cruel. It's necessary. And I learned that walking away from someone who betrayed you isn't giving up. It's choosing yourself. Some people will never understand why you refuse to accept disrespect disguised as love. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, the only person you have to answer to is yourself. And when you look in the mirror, you need to be able to respect who's looking back. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.